Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Squad Pod Sports. We bring our thoughts on the latest games and news around the sports world. Brought to you by the Journey with the Jays Network. A lot of things happen in football this week, man. We gearing up for playoffs here after next week. So we're going to talk about the Week 16 that's just already happened. Next week, the Week 17 predictions, MVP and playoff talk. We'll talk about that.
Pretty much locked up
Yeah,
MVP wise,
exactly. And then we'll just talk about the NBA that's been rolling on here recently and any other news that we kind of get to at that point.
Should be a nice, smooth episode.
Exactly. So, I mean, we'll just hop right into it. The Friday night game, well, the Christmas Day game was the Vikings and the Saints. I mean, no one expected a 50 burger to be dropped.
No, but I did expect the result. Actually, no, I didn't. I was a wild card. I picked Minnesota for whatever reason on this game.
Speaking of that, how were our picks this week, Vern, before we hop in?
All right. Let me tally these up real quick. Hold up a second, because I
forgot to ask you. Usually that's like the first thing I ask you is how the picks are going.
7, 8. You were 9, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 9 and 7. That means I'm probably worse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 and 7 for both of us, but we had different games. Interesting. Okay, so we both 9 and 7. I didn't catch you at all. I'm still going to be 4 games behind you with 1 week left. So we'll see. But you picked New Orleans in that game there. I had Minnesota.
Yeah.
New Orleans is looking like they're trending in the right direction right now. A healthy Drew Brees. They're rolling. Alvin Kamara had 5 touchdowns, didn't he? Or was it 6?
6.
I don't even remember.
6 touchdowns.
6.
Yeah, Alvin Kamara
tied
off on
records.
Christmas. Yeah.
If he does that all the time, man, how are you going to stop them?
Exactly. And it seems like Alvin Kamara, we talked about his cold streak for a while when Taysom Hill was in. But as soon as Drew Brees is back, man, starts using him like he should be used. And like 6 touchdowns. Crazy. That's outrageous.
Looks like he had 155 on the ground. I'm wondering how many receiving yards he had. Let's see here. Because he's always active. 3 receptions for only 17 yards. So it wasn't that crazy as far as his receiving day, but 6 rushing touchdowns and 155 yards.
Yeah, I mean, they were killing him on the ground most of the time. Drew Brees, there is a lot to be kind of skeptical about. I mean, he didn't throw any touchdowns. He threw 2 picks. He did have 300 yards, but I mean, Drew Brees past couple, since he came back from injury, he's been kind of looking a little rough.
This is definitely his last season.
Off. I definitely think so.
He's kind of trying to, and I heard something on the radio where they're talking about he didn't even look like he was fully healthy to play, So
I mean, that makes sense.
In this situation, if you're Drew Brees and you have X amount of games left in your career, you're gonna come back early from injury and try to play that game. So it made sense to me. But they were talking about,
can they get it done in the playoffs?
Right, but still, you're not gonna sit Drew Brees at this point. If he's 80%, you're starting him, regardless. Because hopefully Kamara, but hopefully Kamara could do something at least half of what he just did here against the Vikings in the playoffs for him if they want to go forward. But
I mean, as of right
for
now,
whatever
the
reason,
Saints are matched up against the Bears right now. So I mean, I would definitely see them stop it in the Bears if they make the playoffs.
The Bears play Green Bay next week, so and Green Bay is still trying to get hang on to that one seed. They don't have it locked up. So unless they start or sit players, I don't see Chicago winning this game. So Chicago's probably not even going to be in that position.
Chicago's been Mitch has been playing well the past couple weeks, but
true,
you got Aaron Rodgers on the other team.
Exactly. You're going up against the man who's probably going to win MVP this year.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the Saturday games. Had Buccaneers and Lions. And this one was really ugly, really early.
was a bloodbath, man. Tampa Bay just let them
Thomas Wayne Brady, bro.
They just didn't let off the gas,
man. He had a perfect passer rating in 1/2.
Yeah. He didn't even play the second half.
Didn't even play the second half. 348, 4 touchdowns, 22 of 27, 158.3. Perfect passer rating.
Pretty much every single star player on that team had a touchdown. I think Mike Evans had 2. Antonio Brown had 1. Rob Gronkowski had 1.
He had 2.
Mike Evans had 2.
Gronk had 2.
Gronk
had 2. And Mike Evans.
Yeah. So, I mean, the score was 47-7.
Came in and threw 2 touchdowns. So they had 6 passing touchdowns as total with 2 different quarterbacks there.
Yeah. I mean, Tampa Bay, if they keep that up, if that team shows up in the playoffs, it could be interesting. But who knows what Tampa Bay team you're going to see. If
you see this Tampa Bay team, I want to see a Green Bay Tampa Bay matchup up in Wisconsin there, that would be nice. It could be a shootout.
I mean, it definitely looks probable because, I mean, as of right now, Green Bay has the first round bye, and Tampa Bay are matched up with whoever wins the NFC East. So whether it be Washington, where it's probably looking like it's probably going to be Washington. Maybe. I mean, Tampa Bay's moving on.
They just cut.
But I mean, I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters who.
But that's how that game ended up. We both picked the Bucks. I'm glad we did.
Yeah, I mean, them Lions look
Next
terrible.
Up,
yeah, the 49ers and the
they're
Cardinals.
A team that's fired their coach mid-season.
Yeah. You don't expect them to look that great. The next one was the 49ers and the Cardinals, speaking of not looking that great. And the Cardinals, man, they're saying Kyler Murray has a hamstring injury. They might not even make the playoffs.
If they win this game, I think they get in.
Yeah, but they're saying that Kyler's questionable for Sunday at this point. So
they don't deserve to be in the playoffs at this point.
They don't. They really don't. They've been such a wishy-washy team all season.
At the beginning of this season, they were up there I thought they could hang with anybody, and now this same old Cardinals. You got problems everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, they got beat by 49ers. They did have George Kittle come back, though. This was his first game back. He had 92 yards on 4 receptions.
Yeah. He didn't score a touchdown.
Wilson Jr., he had 183 yards. But I mean, CJ Beathard only had 182 yards and 3 touchdowns. But yeah, Kyler, he had 1 interception. He still had 240 yards. But they just look bad, man.
Yeah.
The Cardinals
don't deserve to be there. Yeah. I have no faith in the Cardinals, even if they make the playoffs.
I mean, neither of these teams as of right now are in the playoffs. So I mean,
no.
Who did we have on that game? Did we both have the Cardinals?
We both picked Arizona, and it's fool's gold at this point. We were just like, they're gonna bounce back. They're gonna have a rebound. They've been kind of slumping late. Nope. Look what happened to them. Another team that doesn't belong in the playoffs is in this next game, the Raiders and the Dolphins. The Raiders do not deserve to be anywhere.
I'm glad this was the last game on Saturday because this was an amazing game, especially at the very end.
With that pass.
I mean, Tua got benched, as everybody knows. Apparently starting this coming week again. But apparently Flores is just, if he sees something going wrong, it's time to throw Fitz in because Fitz is going to get the job done.
Fitz magic.
Yeah, and as the play that everybody knows, it was magic. Dude threw it that far, not even looking, bro. We had a hand in his face.
The guy was just standing there waiting for the ball. It was perfect. That was awesome. I'm glad they won that game. Even I hate the Dolphins, but I'm glad they won that game like that. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, and I mean with that, the Dolphins have 10 wins as of right now. The Dolphins,
if they win next week, they're in the playoffs.
This was a team I think that only had 4 wins last year, 5 wins last year. Now they got 10, man. They look like a really good team.
They finished 11-5. Brian Flores, man, go Patriots. Even though you took all my players, Kyle Van Noy.
And as of right now, they are in the playoffs, and they would match up with the Titans.
Okay. Titans might not make it, man.
Yeah. I mean, they also have 10 wins, but both of those teams, like, who knows if they're going to be there come 2 weeks from now. On the opposite side of that, the Raiders have completely just
fallen apart,
crapped out, man. They've fallen apart. They're 7-8. They are now have a below 500 record.
It makes me wonder if John Gruden, like how long until his seat is like scorching, because I know he's got a 10-year deal, but this is 2 years in a row. We've talked about this. This is 2 years in a row of a complete meltdown in the second half of this season.
And you can't say we weren't right, because, I mean, even at the beginning of the season, we were like, they look all right. But this is the Raiders. This is Derek Carr. Mm-hmm. We know what they like. We've seen it before.
We didn't pick them for the playoffs or nothing, you know.
Yeah. Let's see here. And then we can move on to. We both had the Dolphins in that game, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yep. This next one, we both obviously had Kansas City, and I was pretty worried for a minute. I was like, what is going on here? Why?
Yeah.
But then you look at it, and you see that the last 7 straight games for the Chiefs have come down to less than a touchdown. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like that's just how they're playing right now. Even if you look back to the playoffs last year, that's how they won games. So it is what it is. I did also see their last 24 games, they're 23-1. So
yeah,
they're winning games. It doesn't matter by how much. This is scary because of how bad the Falcons have been, but they won. So at least they won. The last team to beat them, other than the Raiders, was the Titans, and then they went on to just beat the Titans in the playoffs anyway. So like I feel like that was week 10 of last year. So it's
I do actually have some very interesting stats for the Chiefs. The NFL passing leader is Patrick Mahomes. The NFL receiving leader is Kelsey. The number 2 in touchdowns is Tyreek Hill. Number 3 in interceptions is the Honey Badger, as we know him. And they're 23-1 in the last 24, and they already locked up the first round. I mean, they are just firing on all cylinders. It may not look like it on the scoreboard, but I mean, all that matters is they getting that dub.
Exactly. They're playing football on easy mode right now, and it's like you said, the score doesn't necessarily reflect how well they're doing because the defense, you know. So it is.
They always look so calm, like and they never like let the pressure get on. Like at the very end, there you saw like they're like, all right, it's time to go out here and win this game, turn it up. And Patrick Mahomes just like threw
score touchdown.
That perfect ball right to I think it was Kelsey. In the end zone.
It really is crazy. They're the team to beat, 100%.
Yeah, I mean they have the number 1 seed for the first round bye. I mean they're 14-1. They have the best record in the NFL right now.
They're gonna finish 15-1. If it wasn't for that random game, they could have probably went undefeated this year.
Yeah, definitely. But we both had the Chiefs in that one. The next one here, man, they did it again. We didn't think they could do it, but they did it again. The Jets beat the Browns this week.
Granted, they have the Browns more wins in the last 3 weeks than the Steelers do.
Yeah, that's true. And the Eagles.
And the Patriots.
And the Patriots. But I mean, the Browns, they only had one receiver that was active before because all their starting receivers were put on the COVID list.
Right.
Like Jarvis Landry and a couple others. So, I mean, they only really had one receiver that knew the playbook that well.
Exactly.
So, they definitely got some momentum there in the second half. They kind of got it somewhat figured out. But by that time, I mean, the Jets were they were rolling on them.
Baker Mayfield is coughing up the ball, man. 3 fumbles. Yeah. He lost 2 of them.
Oof.
And then that one at the very end of the game that was crucial when he fumbled and the player kicked it forward and it was a whole mess. Like, that was his chance to win. I mean, I know it's probably tough to hang on to a football when getting tackled. I understand. I'm just saying, like, he still fumbled the ball, my man. Like, 3 fumbles.
Ugh. And, I mean, the Browns, they could slip out of the playoffs if they lose again.
Right.
So,
right.
If
they win this next game against Pittsburgh, they're in for sure, though. So
yeah,
we'll see. Speaking of Pittsburgh, they're the next game here. Pittsburgh and the Colts. Yeah. This was a pretty damn good game. Not gonna lie.
Hey, it was a really good game. I mean, it looked like the Steelers were going down again.
I texted Alex. I texted the group chat in the second quarter, like Steelers 4 straight losses because they were already losing 21-0, and then here they come. They started crawling back, and Indy couldn't do anything all of a sudden. Like, and then interceptions from Pittsburgh's defense. It was clutch. It was a clutch victory on Pittsburgh's point, or Pittsburgh. Like, I respect that. I still feel like that offense is very, very finicky.
Word out of the locker room, they were saying that the Colts defense were calling out the Steelers plays as like before they ran them. And apparently in the second half, Ben didn't follow any of the offensive coordinator's plays. He drew them up like on the playground in the huddle. From what Juju and like a couple of the other receivers, apparently Ben was actually calling the plays in the second half, like drawing them up, and he was calling plays from years ago that none of like Juju and these other kids knew about. Like he plays from like 10 years ago or something. But like that's cool. Like it threw the Colts off, man.
That's what you gotta do.
It worked. They came back and won 28-24. I was hoping for that Steelers L again, but hey, I mean, even if they lost, the Browns lost, so I really wouldn't have changed anything. I guess it would have just came down to this coming week.
But now as of right now, the division.
Yeah, the Steelers got the division now. The Colts, on the other hand, man,
trending down.
Yeah, trending downwards. They're not even in the playoffs as of right now.
They can make it if they win and Tennessee loses, or if they win and Miami and Cleveland and Baltimore lose, or something. Like there's a weird. They need a lot of help to get into the playoffs.
There's always those kind of scenarios every year where like 3 other teams have to lose.
Mm-hmm. But they can make it.
The Colts. That's crazy. I saw there was something about like there's 5 10-win teams that are probably not going to make the playoffs or some shit. Yeah. Like that's wild.
The Ravens are a 10-win team. They might not make the playoffs here.
Yeah.
But wild this next game here, the Bears whooped up on them Jacksonville Jaguars, man. But Jacksonville is just like Trevor Lawrence.
Like we said at the beginning of the season, this was the great Jacksonville tank job. They succeeded. They like played everybody by like not being like they only have like 2 wins, but man,
they've won.
They let the Jets take first game of the year because they had 0 wins. So the attention were off Jacksonville.
They came out and won week 1.
Yeah, against the Colts.
So like Jacksonville is like, oh, we're not taking, and then proceeded to lose 14 straight games. Like, come on, you're not tanking. You got Trevor Lawrence now, so hey, congratulations. We'll see if that actually ends up happening, but 90% chance that happens. So we were talking about Chicago a little bit. Don't trust them. I really don't. Yeah. They have been looking great these last couple weeks. They're a team that's trending straight up.
On fire.
Right. Only 11 incompletions last game here. It looks like 2 touchdowns. I give them credit. They have been doing amazing, but I think it's a little bit too late. I don't see them making it. But also, Arizona has to win. If Arizona loses and the Bears win, they're in. So like it's all up to that at this point.
But they do play the Packers this coming week.
Exactly. But like who would you think would be more deserving of that playoff spot? I guess it would come down to who wins this next game here, obviously, but like
yeah, I mean, at this point in time, I would say the Bears deserve it over the Cardinals.
Me too.
Yeah.
We both picked Chicago in that one. Oh, sorry, twist back. We both picked Cleveland. I think we said that. You picked Indy. I picked Pittsburgh. So that's where one discrepancy is there. And then we both picked Chicago in this one, so we got the win on that.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean the Bears just stomped on the Jaguars. This next game, speaking of stomping, the Ravens stomped the Giants, which was pretty much expected. Team.
It's trending upwards. If they can make the playoffs, they might do some damage.
Yeah, Baltimore looks really good. On the Giants side, I do have something here. The Giants will finish with at least 10 losses for the 6th time in 7 seasons.
It's been bad for them lately, man.
It's been really rough.
Those New York teams have been going through it the last couple seasons.
Yeah. And I mean, as of right now for Baltimore, they're matched up with Pittsburgh in the playoffs.
Nice.
Which, woo, that'll be one hell of a playoff game because as everybody knows,
see that.
The first matchup, Pittsburgh won against pretty much everybody on the Ravens was healthy. The second game, which had a ton of controversy, was pushed back multiple times.
Exactly.
And Lamar Jackson didn't play, but it was still a close game. They ended up losing again. So will the Ravens lose a third time to Pittsburgh in the playoffs? I don't know.
It's hard to beat a team 3 times. Let's see what happens.
It is. But I mean, yeah, the Ravens, as of right now, they're in. But as we talked about, they could be out if they lose.
We both picked Baltimore in that one. They're in a winning situation, so they kind of control their own destiny here.
Yeah, I mean the Giants could actually make the playoffs.
They could
if they beat Dallas and if Philly beats Washington, the Giants are in.
We'll see. That's very possible.
But I mean, it's not going to amount to anything. They just get stomped on. But yeah, as you were saying, the next game.
This was a pretty terrible game to pick. Just more or less, we both picked Houston, so we both called it L. It was great for Bengals quarterback. What's his name? Was this Brandon Allen guy?
Yeah, Allen.
When he crossed the line, the touchdown with that smile on his face. Like, that was funny. Like, he was just out there having fun.
It's like the week before against Pittsburgh where he's on the bottom of the pile with a smile on his face.
Is that what I'm thinking of? That might be what I'm thinking of. Like, just dude out here having fun. It looked great.
Yeah.
The one wide receiver they have, Cincinnati here. What's the guy? T. Higgins. They were talking about him and Joe Burrow in the future. That might be a great combination. So they have a lot to look forward to there in Cincinnati. On the other hand, definitely. Looks like Texans, they've been on a downward trend.
I feel so bad for Deshaun Watson.
Me too. We say this every week.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, everybody knows J.J. Watt had a very crazy press conference where he pretty much said that like people aren't pulling their own weight and that they're a trash team. And how like how he feels bad for the fans because they're the ones that like they put their heart into the team and buy the jerseys and like watch the games. I mean, he had a very passionate speech, and it's like it seems like he's fed up in Houston right now.
Right. I mean, hey, he has every reason to be. He's been there through everything, through them being bad to them being pretty good to now being terrible again.
Yeah, I mean, this all comes down to what Bill O'Brien did. Like, he literally just destroyed the franchise and then pieced. Like, got fired. Like, man, how do you trade D-Hop? Like, nobody can explain this.
Or Larry Tunsil.
Yeah. But, I mean, the Texans, they're done. I mean, Houston's 4-11 since he's 4-10 right now.
Yeah, neither of them are doing anything this year.
Yeah. I mean, the next game here... the Broncos and the Chargers.
Another game like the last one with no real playoff implications, but still.
Yeah. I think we both picked the Chargers in this one.
Let's see here. I picked Denver. You picked the Chargers.
Oh, okay. So that's where another one differs.
Yep. Looks like Herbert didn't have his usual 300-yard day, but they still got the victory. That's pretty good. And he set a rookie record.
Yeah. And Drew Lock, I mean, he had 2 picks, 260 yards. I mean, Denver's they look bad. I mean, the Chargers look bad too, but I mean, overall, the Chargers are a more impressive looking team whenever they're playing most of the time.
Yeah.
It comes down to the defense.
I honestly didn't even watch this one, so I don't really know too much about how this one unfolded.
I didn't see too much of it either.
Right, just to be transparent.
It was a game that I was even watching Red Zone. I didn't see too much of.
Yeah, they didn't really show that game too often.
But the next one here is the Panthers and the Washington No Names, which at this time, I was so glad the Panthers won this game, but it didn't matter in the end because we'll get to that here. But the Panthers, man,
that was a 1 o'clock game.
They put the foot on the gas and pretty much. I mean, it was only ended up 20-13, but the Panthers were ahead the whole game. Washington were just struggling. Dwayne Haskins got benched. Yeah, I mean, Dwayne Haskins was playing bad as usual, got benched, and now, as everybody knows, he's been cut. He's not on any team right now. Apparently, he cleared waivers today. Nobody picked him up. Nobody claimed him. But apparently, there's a couple teams that are interested. But he'll be on a team next year.
He'll be either starter or backup somewhere. Most likely a backup somewhere.
Yeah, most likely. I mean, the Panthers. I mean, they didn't have a. I mean, they're 5-10.
Playing spoiler right now.
Yeah, pretty much. They're definitely a team to look out for in the next couple years, though. I think if they can build something there. The next one here, the Rams and the Seahawks.
This one was a surprise.
Yeah.
And it really shouldn't have been, but it was because of the way Seattle's been playing lately. You know, we were just like, I don't trust them. The Rams have been trending up, and then boom. Jared Goff doesn't throw an interception or throw a touchdown, and he has one pick. Just not typical of how he's been playing lately. I don't get these Rams, man. I really don't.
I don't either, man. And did we both pick the Rams?
Yeah. Because we were fooled. Another game we were fooled.
Exactly. They had a strong couple games.
It's this division. They're all terrible, and they trick you into thinking they're good.
Fakers. Bunch of phonies.
They do send a team to the Super Bowl pretty often, though, when you really think about it. It's this division and your division in the NFC sending teams to the Super Bowl every year.
Yeah, that's true.
Rams, Seahawks, 49ers, Eagles, you know. I guess we're not talking Super Bowls too. I'm just thinking, like, it blows my mind. While I was speaking, thought about it. I was like, wait a second. All these teams, other than the Cardinals, have been to the Super Bowl. And even still, the Cardinals have been to the Super Bowl last decade.
10 years.
Yeah, so that division. But maybe that's just because they beat up on each other all year. So we're just like, that's why you never know what's going on. It's very interesting.
But, I mean, the Seahawks did what they were actually. I mean, Russ played well. The defense played all right. I mean, they just looked like an all right team. They didn't look amazing at all.
Right.
I think the Seahawks have definitely trended downward since like week 6, week 7, man.
11 wins and just don't seem that good, but they have 11 wins. So
it seems like, that's crazy to see they have 11 wins, but it's like, I don't know, man. It's kind of hollow.
Yeah.
It's like a hollow 11 wins. Like, I don't know.
Like, we'll see how they fare in the playoffs. They have a chance to still get the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
If the Packers and the Saints lose.
If the Packers and the Saints lose.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. That's like you asking for both of those teams to lose. Good luck.
I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah. The next game here. Heartbreakers. It started off so well.
And then great.
Just went about as terrible as it can go at that point afterwards. Man, the Eagles and Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Hurts started off on fire, bro. They went down and scored a touchdown. Miles Sanders had a touchdown. And then, as everybody knows, the second drive, he had that 80-yard bomb with Deshaun Jackson. And you didn't see anything else from Deshaun Jackson the rest of the game because he didn't play the rest of the game.
Why?
Apparently, he had some soreness. And they were just like, oh, we're going to sit him off to the side for now. But the defense was absolutely atrocious because of everybody banged up. I think his last name is Jacquet. He was on starting corner for us on opposite of Slay. They were just torching him all day because they knew that they were going to be able to torch him.
Right.
I mean, look how many yards. Let me see here. Gallup had 121 and Amari Cooper had 121. They both had 121 yards. That's crazy.
Andy Dalton.
Darius Slay actually ended up with a pick. Andy Dalton was 22 of 30 for 377 yards.
Jeez, 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns and 1 pick. He only had 2 sacks. I think it was after 8 plays of the game, Fletcher Cox went out. He had a stinger, and he didn't play the rest of the game. And you can notice as soon as he left that defensive line was terrible.
Right. Zeke had 100 yards. Jeez.
Yeah, Zeke had 100 yards.
I don't see that often anymore.
Yeah, I mean, Dallas, they look like we made them look like the damn Chiefs or some shit out there. At the second half, as soon as the touchdown, as soon as we got the 17 points because we didn't score anything else, crazy enough, now everybody wants to see it. Jalen Hurts went through the same exact issues Carson was going through. The O-line was folding. He couldn't go anywhere. He was getting sacked. He was throwing squirrely balls. He was throwing picks. He was fumbling. He fumbled like 2 times. Like, this is not a coincidence.
No time for him.
Yeah, I mean, Wentz, his things, you can hating on him is fair because he did throw all those picks. He threw more picks than anybody else in the league, which magnified it a lot, like his situation a lot more. They're like, yeah, bet you. But if you're watching the game, Hurts is having the same issues in the second half. I do have some stats here. Jalen Hurts in his 3 starts in the first half has a 63% pass completion, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 123 passer rating. In the second half of these 3 starts, 49% completion, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, 58 passer rating.
Oh.
Like, in the second half of every game, it gets worse. And it's because I guarantee you the defenses, they adjust, they figure some stuff out, adapt. And that's when, through these halves, you see Jalen Hurts have the same problems that Carson Wentz was having. And believe it or not, I saw this blew my mind, actually. Carson Wentz still leads the NFC East in touchdown passes.
That's so bad. Oh my God. You're probably one of the teams with the least amount of quarterbacks that have played for you this year, though. You and the Giants.
That's true. Yeah. And he hasn't thrown a pass since week 13.
Jeez.
Right.
They still. Remember when Dak led the league in passing yards for a couple of weeks after he was hurt?
Yeah.
For like 2 weeks after he was hurt, he's still.
But,
yeah,
man,
but that's pretty much how
we both had the Eagles in that one. But.
Right. I thought it was going to be a scrappy game, but it just ended up being a avalanche.
Yeah. I mean, it looked great for a minute. I was like, man, we're going to whoop these Cowboys' ass. And then pain. But yeah, we'll move on to the next one here, the night game, which was a wild one.
This was a crazy snow game.
Yeah, the Titans and the Packers. And man, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers were out there having some fun.
Right. He was doing crazy stuff, man. Like against the Titans, even. You picked Tennessee in this one. I picked Green Bay.
I felt so strongly about Tennessee. I placed a $5 wager that Derrick Henry was going to have 2 touchdowns.
Oh.
I placed $5 on Derrick Henry having 2 touchdowns.
You should have placed $5 on Devontae Adams getting 3.
I know, but I was like, Packers are bad against the run. In the snow, where it's going to be, you're going to have to see a lot more running. Derrick Henry's just like, this is his element. This is his time to shine.
Hey, I thought so too. I thought so too. But I did pick Green Bay, but I would have figured that Derrick Henry would have been doing damage the whole game. He did have 98 yards, but no touchdowns.
Yeah, but no touchdowns. Ryan Tannehill only had 120 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions.
Right.
But on the other hand, Aaron Rodgers, old bad man, had 21 of 25 for 231 yards and 4 touchdowns. He did have a pick. but 4 touchdowns.
Oh my God.
Right? That's wild. I mean, Dillon had 124 rushing yards. Jones had 94. Davante Adams can just, it seems like he's just doing whatever he wants every single game.
Even he's in the snow.
Yeah, he's getting 100 yards and multiple touchdowns every game. I think he's the one that leads in touchdowns. Oh, wait, no. Was that Travis Kelce I said earlier? I thought so.
I'm not sure.
Or maybe that was receiving yards.
I think Davante does lead in touchdowns.
I thought so, too.
I'm not 100% sure.
But, man, that defense might be doing something at the right time because the Packers look damn good right now.
It's going to be them and the Bucks. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's going to be a good game, but I want to see a Aaron Rodgers, Pat Mahomes Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like,
or
I want to
Tom
see
Brady, Pat Mahomes.
Or Tom Brady, Pat Mahomes, but Tom Brady has his rings. I want to see Aaron Rodgers get another ring to cement that he's great.
Him or Pat Mahomes.
Just because Alex will be salty as shit if Aaron Rodgers goes and wins.
Yeah, I know, right?
He hates Aaron Rodgers.
He's so mad.
But yeah, it ended up 40-14, man. Packers were just rolling. And then you have the Monday night game that happened. And I know you don't want to talk about it, but I went through some pain. I went through some pain. Now we can talk about your pain. The Bills and Patriots.
We both picked Buffalo in this game.
Yeah,
I wasn't even falling for the trap this week.
No,
I wasn't. Buffalo has been waiting for this opportunity for 20 years to just rub it in our face. That's what last night was a rub it in your face type of game for Buffalo. They were just
and they rubbed it in so hard that Bill Belichick was throwing phones on the sideline.
Well, that's because somebody told him to challenge that, and it wasn't supposed to. Like you shouldn't have challenged that. And Bill Belichick, why the fuck tell me to challenge?
Yeah, I didn't know
that's exactly what it was. Like he was pissed. Oh my God! I
saw one of your corners talking shit to Stephon Diggs, and then like Stephon like pointed at him, and then like proceeded to like have that crazy 50-yard touchdown. Yeah. And then just ball out the rest of the game, man.
It's just ridiculous. I fully expected it. The Bills are looking like a team that can give the Chiefs a problem. They really are. They are a 12-3 team right now. They could finish with 13 wins. This will be the first time they've swept us since 1999.
Yeah. I was going to say I have. Yep.
I have
the stats right here, too.
19 straight seasons without losing both games to a divisional opponent. It's just ridiculous, bro. I don't think Tom Brady has ever lost to a divisional opponent. 2 games in a row. It says the
Patriots were the only NFL team not to be swept by a divisional foe since the division realignment in 2002. Like, that's how long.
Oh,
I mean,
Belichick's first losing season since 2000.
That's crazy, man. And I mean, Cam, he was just having a rough go of it.
Got benched
again. Jared Stidham came in.
34 yards for Cam Newton. 34 yards.
And you said you haven't had a touchdown in you had a touchdown this game, but there wasn't like a touchdown.
That was the first touchdown in I think what was that? What was I saying? 15 quarters or something like that. Crazy. I think it was 15 quarters. It was ridiculous, and then proceed to miss the field goal. But it is what it is. I'm just I'm on the next season at this point. We've got one more game left. Let's get it over with. Get on the next year. Get our
that's the point I'm
that
at
opted out back. It's just it's looking too ugly.
The Bills are currently matched up with the Browns in the playoffs if the Browns make it.
Well, they'll probably
be. What you said, but like what you said, the Bills and the Chiefs are going to be the matchup that you want to watch, because if the Chiefs are playing like they have been, I mean, the Bills could get up on them early, man. If the Chiefs fuck around like they have been the past couple weeks, the Bills could actually start getting momentum and put some points on them. But I mean, it is the Chiefs. We have seen they did last year in the playoffs. They came back every single game and won. So I don't know, man. That's the four teams I see is like NFC is like Packers, Tampa Bay, and then Chiefs, Bills. Those are like the four teams like dominate that. Those are the four teams I could see that in the Super Bowl.
Exactly. And nothing's getting in their way except each other at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, the Bills are just out there having fun at this point.
See how happy Josh Allen was when he won the coin flip.
He always looks happy, man.
Like a little schoolgirl. I'm happy about it. Just like not because it's like it's nice to see them this good. Like they've been so bad for so long. Josh Allen came out of college looking okay, you know what I mean? It wasn't great. Then his first season in the league, he had like crazy terrible completion percentage, and now look at him. Developed 3 years into the league, looking great. Got
him a star wide receiver too, Stephon Diggs.
Cole Beasley's playing like Julian Edelman out there.
Wish they would have did that shit for Wentz, but that's another story. Nope.
But you want to hear an interesting stat?
Oh, you got a stat?
I got an interesting stat for you, okay?
Got it.
So the Patriots play the Jets next week to finish the season, okay?
Yeah.
Jamison Crowder has 6 receiving touchdowns, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Cam Newton has 5 passing touchdowns on the season. It's just ridiculous to me. I looked ahead to the next games here, and I just saw that, and it just makes me mad even looking at that. But it is what it is. That was crazy. The game for the week. We both finished 9-7.
Those are the games. So I mean, we'll move on to the final week of the NFL season. So usually this is a sad moment, but
yeah.
Go ahead. You got the.
I wanted to go over with the total records here.
Oh yeah.
So you end up at 152 and 88 right now, and I'm at 148 and 92. So
we gotta keep our losses below 100. That's the goal. Gotta keep them below.
As long as I don't lose 8 games next week, I'm good. And you have a lot bigger cushion than me, so we should be all right. Go mega positive this year. First year.
So we'll just kind of hop right into here. The last week. Usually it is a sad week, like I was saying, but as of right now, the Eagles and Patriots are out of the playoffs. Yeah. So I'm just ready to get this year over with. But
let's move on.
I know that you were supporting your your kind of jump off team since your team's out is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh yeah.
And mine are the Green Bay Packers. I'm rolling with Aaron Rodgers.
If I were to pick an AFC team, it would probably be the Bills. To be honest.
Yeah. To be honest, I would too.
Too easy to pick the Chiefs. I want to pick the Bills. Like, how crazy would it be if they upset them? Man, that would be wild.
Right. That would be wild. But the first game here on Sunday is the Dolphins and the Bills, and it's a 1 o'clock game. Buffalo is a 1-point favorite, which is pretty low. I thought it'd be a little higher.
It might grow by the time we get closer to that game. So this might be a good one to like get it before it's a 3-4 point favorite. But especially with them benching Tua and like I don't know, man, that's pretty low. But I'm going with Buffalo in this one.
I actually haven't heard on anything if Buffalo's going to be like resting anybody, so I'm going to take Buffalo as well.
Yeah. That'll definitely affect it. But if they're starting everybody, I'm definitely picking Buffalo in that one there.
Oh, definitely. The next one here is the Ravens and the Bengals.
Yeah, this is a team with Baltimore trending upwards.
Yeah, I got the Ravens and that one as well. They're 11.5 point favorites.
See, like, geez.
Right? The next one is the Steelers and the Browns, and the Steelers are starting Mason Rudolph at quarterback.
And Cleveland's a 10-point favorite.
Yeah, Cleveland's 10-point favorites. pretty much just because Mason Rudolph is quarterback for the Steelers. Steelers are actually resting players, so it looks like the Browns could make the playoffs just by beating the Steelers here this week. So I'm going to take the Browns just because Mason Rudolph is playing QB for the Steelers.
I'm going to take Cleveland because I feel like, or Pittsburgh. I'm going to take Pittsburgh because I feel like they're going to rest all their starters and still fuck around and beat these Browns. That's just how I'm feeling right now. I know I've had some confidence in Cleveland lately, or this season, we'll say, but maybe not as much lately. Pittsburgh will rest their starters and still fuck around and win that game.
Okay. The next one here is the Vikings and the Lions. Minnesota are 7-point favorites. I'm going to take Minnesota.
Yeah, same. Me too.
Lions are just so bad now.
Are not a good team right now.
The next game here, the Jets and the Patriots.
Yeah, boy, I'm going with New England. You already know.
I'm gonna pick the Jets.
Hey, it would not surprise me. We'll see what happens. I'm still
the first time and only time I'm gonna pick the Jets this year is the final week.
Hey,
because there are 2-game win streak.
They are.
I don't
even know who we're starting at quarterback next week, to be honest with you. But I'm still picking the Patriots. I can't. Week 17, I'm rolling with them. I don't care what happens.
Oh, I feel you. The next one here is the Cowboys and the Giants.
Ooh.
I think I'm gonna pick Dallas in this one.
Yeah, I am too. I'm picking Dallas in this one, just because they are the team that can lose and like more or less control their own destiny right now. Win that game. If Washington wins, then it doesn't matter. I know, but I'm just saying like they can't lose this game if they want to make the playoffs. Obviously, I'm rolling with them. I do think Washington's a little compromised, so it's a very good chance that Dallas does win this and makes the playoffs. But we'll get to that then.
Yeah, we'll see. The next one here is the Falcons and the Buccaneers.
I
don't know. Ugly. Like, do you think the Bucs are going to be resting people or no?
I don't know if they can advance up any further in the playoffs as far as seeding goes or not. So this is a tough week because a lot of these reports will probably come out closer to Sunday.
Exactly. We don't know at this time.
These are just early predictions here. So this might be a bad week for both of us. We might end up with 8 losses.
We saw what happened the last time they played. I mean, Tom Brady came back and won the game. Like it was like 23-0 or whatever.
Right.
23-3. I don't know, man. This is a hard one.
I'm picking Tampa Bay.
All right. Yeah, I'll pick Tampa. I cannot bet the Falcons. Like I've done it before and they screwed me over. The next one is the Packers and the Bears. I mean, I'm gonna pick the Packers in that one. They're 5.5-point favorites.
We were talking about that one a little bit. That's a game that the Bears need to win to make the playoffs, and Green Bay is still trying to lock up a 1 seed. So I don't see them sitting anybody there.
Yeah. And the next one is the Raiders and the Broncos. I'm going to pick the Raiders.
I'm going to pick Denver.
Okay.
Divisional matchup there. Raiders have been faltering like crazy. I know the Broncos just lost to Chargers last week, but hey, it's last week of the season. They're going to be starting players randomly. That dude, what's his name? Vic Fangio or whatever. He might be playing for his job in this last week as far as coaching for his job. So we'll see what happens here.
That's true. I got the Raiders in that one. The next one is the Colts and the Jaguars, and the Colts have a 14-point spread on them.
Yeah, especially if they do what they normally do and get up early. This isn't a team that'll come back on them, So I pick Indy in this one.
Same. The Chiefs and the Chargers is the next game. And the Chargers are 3.5-point favorites, and I think that's just because the Chiefs are going to be resting players. They have the Chargers as the favorites.
Yeah. For shits and giggles, I'll go with LA.
Same. I'll bite.
I'll bite.
I'll bite.
Especially, you tell me Papa Holmes ain't playing, and this team only beat the Falcons 14-17. All right, I'll pick the Chargers.
The next one is the Cardinals and the Rams. I
don't trust either of them.
I don't trust either of them, but at this point, I think I trust the Rams more than the Cardinals.
Me too. I'm picking the Rams in this
one. Especially, it's even right now. It has an even bet. And who knows if Kyler's going to be playing. I mean,
you know what? If it's even, I'm picking Arizona.
Just to make it.
Because this is a complete coin flip. Yep.
Gotcha.
Just to see what happens there.
The next one here is Seahawks 49ers. And Seahawks are 5.5-point favorites.
This could be a potential trap for Seattle.
It could be, but I think they're fighting for the playoffs, aren't they?
They could get a 1 seed potentially here.
Oh yeah, they're 3 seed right now. I didn't even notice that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they already won the division. There's no way they could not lose the division. So they made the playoffs at least. I think they win this game regardless.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick the Seahawks.
Russell Wilson's got 38 touchdowns, 4,000 yards. He's about to hit 40 touchdowns on the season.
Yeah,
he's having a great year. Not MVP season like we thought he was going to have, but he's having a great year.
Mm-hmm. The next one here is the Saints and the Panthers. I'm going to take the Saints in this one.
Me too.
They're going to be playing. They're trying to definitely get the win in case the Green Bay loses,
Yeah, 100%, man. It's not like they're completely wrapped up. They did make the playoffs, but if you can get a bye week, that'd be amazing.
Yeah. So I got the Saints, and next game is Titans and the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
And
easy pick, honestly.
Yeah, gonna get the Titans in that one.
Mm-hmm. Because they're playing for a lot or still.
Yeah, exactly. What do they have right now? As of right now, they got the 4 seed.
But if they lose, a lot of shit can happen. Because I don't think did they win the division? I think they actually might have.
I feel like they did.
So they're going to be in the playoffs regardless, I think. Okay, no. If they win, they get the South.
Okay, so yeah. I'm going to pick them because they're going to want to win the division.
But they will make the playoffs if Baltimore and Miami lose. So that's the scenario where they still make the playoffs if Baltimore and Miami lose. Okay. But if they win this game, they'll win the division.
Okay. Yeah, I got them winning the division then.
Mm-hmm.
And for some damn reason, they moved this game to prime time. Come on, man.
I don't know why.
The Eagles and the Washington no names. Come on, man.
I can't pick Washington, so I had to default to your boys on this one.
I'm picking Washington.
I already wrote down Philly for you.
Nope. Not gonna do it.
All right.
Not gonna do it. I don't trust them. I don't trust that defense.
Yeah, but who knows? Oh. Okay, all right. You convinced me.
You saw the second half stats.
Yeah.
I read to you.
All right, I'm picking Washington. I don't want to. I don't like it.
I know you don't want to. But yeah, I mean that's the picks for the last week of the regular season of the NFL. I feel like it went by so fast. I mean, we really didn't think it would be this far, really, with the coronavirus and everything.
Right.
We didn't think we would make this far into the season, let alone 5 games or something like that.
We were just hoping to get the season started, more or less.
Yeah, exactly. And look at us. We go into the playoffs here next week.
Made it to the end.
Not next week, but 2 weeks. And I mean, Super Bowl is in 4 weeks, something like that.
Less than a month, man.
Yeah. 5 weeks, something like that.
No, little bit more than a month. A little bit more than a month. But it's all good. My time's all.
But yeah. But yeah, that's the games for the last week of the season, man. I'm really excited for the playoffs, even though my Eagles are out, your Pats are out. It
Still
hurts.
excited to see what happens. Still be covering it here.
It's been like 5 years since the Eagles haven't been in the playoffs. It hurts. But yeah, man, we could talk about some basketball now. Since I know you want to talk about your damn Lakers. Yeah. Talk about how good they are.
See, and this is probably why y'all hate me, but it's all good. When one team's bad, another team's all right. You know what I'm saying? So we're rolling along. Morale is up right now. Let's go Lakers. I know my Patriots ain't doing that great, but I still wanted to wear this jersey today to show support for them, even in a loss. You know what I mean? Even in a terrible season, I had to throw on the reminder jersey. That's what this one is. This is a reminder jersey.
Okay. Let me know. I would have worn my Nick Foles one. I would have worn my Nick Foles jersey.
You have to shoot the kill shot, but it's all right. Listen, Lakers are looking excellent. LeBron rolled his ankle the other night, and it looked pretty bad, but then he came right back in the game, and he's been playing. There was speculation about him not playing against Portland. He played. It's great. Yeah. So, I think just keep an eye on that. The only thing that can stop the Lakers right now is injuries. We were talking about that. They're looking amazing. They're looking better than last year. They have more depth than last year. They're more cohesive now because they have even the players that we kept and everything. We have I'm loving it, man. It's looking great. We're only a couple games into the season. I know.
Yeah, I mean you're 2-2 right now. I mean there's a lot of the big teams right now that we thought were gonna be hot are kind of starting off a little slow. I mean the Nets are 2-2 right now. The Rockets are 0-2 right now.
But that's because they have their own turmoil that they're dealing with. I'm surprised they got to play games in the first place.
Yeah, I mean Miami only has one win right now. The Bucks are 2-2. There are only 2 undefeated teams right now. The Magic are 4-0 right now. Orlando's rolling, and Atlanta is 3-0.
Okay,
those are the only 2 undefeated teams, and somehow the Cavaliers are 3-1. Hey, they're getting some dubs. Philly got 3-1. But yeah,
everybody
it's very
has a chance to make the playoffs. How them Bulls
very early. Bulls finally got a win tonight. We're 1-3. Finally got a dub. Who was it against? Oh, it was against the Wizards. And I'm not even sure if Westbrook played or not, to be honest. If he probably played, we probably would have lost. We do play him the next game, though.
Back-to-backs with the Wizards.
Yeah. Let me see here. Did Westbrook play? Westbrook did play. He had 21 points. Bradley Beal had 29 points. Damn. Yeah,
Westbrook
3 players
had a triple-double.
20 points. Westbrook, he did. He had 15 rebounds and 11 assists and 21 points. Crazy.
He's a walking triple-double, but they lost.
He's been doing this for years now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean the Bulls, they have a lot of problems on defense as of right now. But I mean it is early in the season.
So
they gotta find their identity.
We don't even know who early MVP candidates are. Nobody's dropped the 50 burger yet. That's when the NBA season will be in full swing. When we got crazy stuff happening.
I mean trades can still be happening too. So
right. So far, the craziest thing that happened was Dallas beating the Clippers by 50 points or whatever it was at halftime. It was, no, Kawhi didn't play, but
yeah, I think they ended up beating them by 50 or something like that. It was.
Is that what it ended up being? Beaten by 50.
Mavs. Yeah.
I saw a team won by 47 today. Let me see.
Oh, I didn't see that. But apparently, Luka had more than the starters on the Clippers. Luka scored more points than the starters on the Clippers.
That's good. Luka, man.
But, I mean, Kawhi didn't play, as a lot of people know, because he got elbowed in the face. And dude was leaking on the court. Blood was everywhere. Mm-hmm. It was scary. Scary scene.
Everywhere. I was like, oh, my God.
And as of last night, Ja Morant has an ankle. He hurt his ankle. He's out 3 to 5 weeks now.
Exactly. It's not as bad as it could have been. It's not as bad as it looked.
Exactly. He's going to be back this season, luckily, because this dude is, the future.
It was Milwaukee tonight who beat Miami by 47 points. They set a single-game NBA record for three-pointers made with 29. They put up 144 points tonight.
That's crazy.
That's an all-star game score, man.
Like, and I think the Bucks got thwomped their last game, so they came back with a vengeance.
The only Bucks player to play in the game and not knock down a tray was reigning MVP and Defensive Player of the Year Giannis Antetokounmpo, who ended with 9. He had 9 points, and they put up 144. The Bucks might be a real deal team to worry about this year. I know they were the best team last year as far as record goes.
How did they put up 140 points and Giannis only had 9?
Oh my God! Against the defending East champions, who knocked them out of the playoffs.
That's crazy.
Was the Heat that knocked them out of the playoffs last year?
I was trying to think of that too. I didn't know if it was them or the Raptors.
I don't remember, but still, regardless, against the defending East champions, that's nice. That's nice. So they got depth too, apparently.
Yeah. So I mean, NBA is full force right now, man. There's games on. I mean, there's games on right now.
Looks like we do have another injury here. Kevin Love is out 3 to 4 weeks with a calf injury as well.
Ooh.
For Cleveland.
Jeez.
And Porzingis is back at practice apparently, running full. So.
Oh, nice. Nice.
So Dallas is just getting stronger.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much all there really is to report about the NBA right now. I mean, it just started. Only like 4 games in, but I mean, it's rolling.
I'm hyped for that season, man. I've been watching games. My Lakers games come on real late over here, but I'm putting them on, man.
But yeah, I'm excited. I've actually been tuning into some NBA games. I've been watching the Bulls. I was watching the one the other night where we started getting blown out early, and I had to turn it off. I was like, I'm not watching this shit.
Yeah. Especially this early in the season, there's no reason to sit through that.
But I mean, the 13th of January is when our NHL starts up again. I'm excited for that. The schedule is announced. The first game of the Flyer season is against Pittsburgh.
Nice.
And I cannot wait. It's going to be a good one. But I mean, that's pretty much all the news I had. I don't know if you have anything else you want to talk about.
We got college football coming up this weekend, so we don't really have much to talk about there, other than Dabo Swinney keeps running his mouth about my Buckeyes, talking about how we're the 11th ranked team in the country. Get out of here. I understand.
I hope they go out and surprise them. I hope Ohio State goes out and gets the dub, man.
Me too. But we're gonna have that to talk about next Tuesday as well, or next week as well, because that game's coming up here. I can't wait.
This is the last podcast of 2020 too.
So, year-end podcast.
Year-end podcast.
Year-end review episode or something next time.
Oh, that's a good idea.
We should have did that this time.
Wait a minute. I mean,
sorry, guys.
I didn't even think about it until now. I was like, wait a minute, this is the last podcast for the year. See,
that's all good.
We so looking up all the stats. We ain't even worried about that kind of stuff.
We're just trying to give you information about now.
Yeah, we're giving you sports information. But yeah, man, it was exciting. A lot of big things happening here at the beginning of the year, so lots to look forward to. But other than that, we have our bias bubbles here we can talk about. What anything you want to talk about, Vern, with your Patriots or the Lakers?
Big question, Patriots organization, to me at least, is what do we do at quarterback? Because I don't think you keep Cam. There's no way you can keep Cam at this point as a starter. Maybe as a backup, but there's no way you keep Cam as a starter. I don't see. I would love to see it, and I feel like there's a lot of players on the team that it's not like any type of detriment to the locker room. He's just a broken shell of himself at this point. It's kind of what everybody expected, and that's why they paid him so little in the first place. But I'm glad they gave him the chance. But I would love to see Cam stay as a backup in New England, but I don't want Cam as my starting quarterback next year. I don't want Jarrett Stidham as my starting quarterback next year for one particular reason, is because Cam's doing this bad all season, and Stidham is still chilling on the bench, not being a starter at all. He comes in late games, but if if Cam's doing this bad and you're still not starting Stidham, what's that say about
automatically they're not sold on him. There's something about him they're not sold on.
Either that or they're not. See, that doesn't make sense either. I was going to try to convince myself. I'm trying to justify it in my head. Like, oh, maybe they're just trying to keep him healthy for next year. But why would you do that? Just get him experience now. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm not too confident in Stidham either. Brian Hoyer sure as hell ain't going to be our long-term quarterback. So, like, that's the biggest question to me is who is going to be the quarterback next year in New England? You know?
Yeah. Now, a question for you is, which one do you think is more likely? You guys scooping a QB in the draft, either by where you're going to be at now or trading up? Or do you see yourself getting a free agent?
Draft.
You think so?
Yeah, 100%.
Or not even a free agent if you trade for one, too.
Either draft or small chance we get somebody like a Matt Stafford or something in like a wild dumpster fire trade because who knows what's going on in Detroit. Who knows if Matt Stafford even wants to play? Maybe he'll retire. You know,
Dwayne Haskins. I
don't know what. I know he's a Buckeye.
Hey, with Trevor Lawrence possibly going to Jacksonville, Gardner Minshew, Uncle Rico.
No, I would rather draft a new quarterback and see what happens than take Dwayne Haskins or Gardner Minshew. Neither.
I don't believe.
I don't think we would be cool with Josh Rosen, like any of these young quarterbacks. I would like a veteran like Matt Stafford or Matt Ryan. I know we're not getting Matt Ryan, especially with the money he's making. I'm just using that as an example, like Carson Wentz, veterans like that, Jimmy Garoppolo, something like that. Like, I don't want.
Jimmy Garoppolo is definitely an interesting one.
Right, because
like there's all kinds of reports.
So weird.
Yeah. All kinds of things saying he could not be there next year. Yeah, Derek Carr.
I wouldn't mind that. Like, see what he's got a cannon on him still. I would much rather see that than try to go the route of an already young quarterback that's in the league and try to make like someone we kind of know, like a Josh Rosen. We don't really know. We kind of know.
Them you want somebody that's kind of pretty much already developed somewhat.
Not necessarily. My main thing is like either a mid-tier vet, like we were saying, like not a great quarterback.
But you don't want somebody that's like still green. You know, you don't want anybody that's like.
But if we do, no, that's not even my point though. Like because I would love that if we go through the draft and like home grow some like. Let's go pick somebody who's going to fit and build it. Like, I don't want to just, like I said, I keep the name Josh Rosen keeps popping in my head, and I would hate to see us sign somebody like that. I would like Dwayne Haskins. I don't want Dwayne Haskins on our team. Like, if we're gonna go get a young quarterback, go draft a young quarterback. Don't go pay somebody on a second contract. Or obviously they're already in bad position, so they're not gonna be making a ton of money on a second contract anyway. But I would rather mid-tier vet like Matt Stafford type of thing, or go through the draft. Don't even bother with these young quarterbacks right now. You don't have a Kyler Murray that's available. You know what I mean? Yeah. You might have that in the draft. So that's more or less what I'll say as far as Patriots and the quarterback situation. I'm not too worried about the rest of it because it'll all get fixed. I have no like trouble believing, no doubt that Bill Belichick will fix the rest of that team. Like it's a lot of young players right now, a lot of inexperience, a lot of not executing. You know, it's not as much game plan as much as it's not execution on the field. So I'm not too worried about that. The quarterback play was a glare. Wide receiver play, that's something that needs to be addressed immediately, whether through free agency or draft. Like the rest of it, I think will be more of a.
You guys gonna fuck around and trade for Zach Ertz?
Maybe. We have zero production out of our tight ends. Zero production out of them all year. So we would like to get anybody, even a Darren Waller. Darren Waller's a beast, but that's what I mean. Like off the wall tight end, like a Jimmy Graham. So I don't care. I don't really care. Just somebody who's gonna actually catch the ball because our tight ends get targeted and just don't come down fit. Last game, 2 targets for the one lacrosse, I think, and 0 receptions, 0 yards. We're getting 0 production out of them, and I'm tired of it. But it's on the next season pretty much as far as that goes. We got the Jets, and then it's basketball season. Straight up. Lakers. I don't really got too much to say about them. It's super early. I did talk a lot about it here a couple minutes ago. Just excited to see what happens. The blue jerseys we had on the other night were fire. Nice. Fire. But other than that,
I did like those ones.
Them white ones were nice.
Mm-hmm. I mean, as far as me, the Bulls, it's a little early. But speaking of jerseys, tonight we broke out the old Jordan pinstripe black ones. That's why I wore my Chicago one. Right. And it also featured the first time that Chicago had the Air Jordan logo on their jersey tonight.
Oh, which was interesting. Cool. That's cool. Yeah. That's like a full circle moment.
Yeah. So they put the Air Jordan logo on the black pinstripe jerseys, which is really cool. Yeah. But I mean, hopefully they can somewhat get it together. Maybe scoop an 8 seed eventually. Hopefully get it together, kind of get the ball rolling, develop some chemistry. I mean, the rookie on the Bulls looks nice, Patrick Williams. He's going to be nice here in the future. I'm excited for him. Kobe White's been balling. Zach LaVine's been balling. That's about it for the Bulls. Now for the Eagles. Man, they got a lot of work to do this offseason. And we're going to have a lot to report this offseason, I'm sure. Oh, yeah. At this point, I don't know if Doug Peterson's going to be around. A lot of reports saying that he's going to be gone. Especially after this game against Dallas, it really magnified the issues with the team. All right, it's not just the QB. I knew that shit beforehand, but it really magnified it this week. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited and nervous. See what happens. I know a lot of people are going to get either traded or cut. I don't expect Alshon or Deshaun to be here next year, or possibly Ertz. That's for the QB situation because we also have one. It's definitely not the same QB situation.
Yeah, at least you have QBs.
Yeah, we got two QBs. That's
you got an abundance of quarterbacks, so we're neither of us could throw touchdowns.
I see a lot of good and bad. The good, I hope, I want to see Carson start. I think they're going to end up starting Carson next season. I mean, dude's getting paid $30 million. I think they're going to have they're going to call it a competition in camp, but I'm pretty sure that Carson's going to be starting next year. Hopefully they can fix a lot of the issues in the draft or free agency, but it's Howie, so if he's still here, I don't really have much faith in that. But the problems I do have is if they trade Carson, we have Jalen Hurts, and then Carson goes out and balls. On the other hand, if we decide to roll with Wentz, we trade Jalen Hurts. He's going to go out and become the future for some team and start balling. So it's we're kind of stuck where we kind of have to keep both of them at this point because
for now at least.
Next season is going to be the season where, all right, Carson, if you don't get your shit together or if you don't perform how you're up to par, all right, we're probably going to be moving on at that point. You had a bad season. You have 2 bad seasons. We got to actually move on. Jalen, this is going to be your team now.
Look at Joe Flacco in Baltimore. That's what I compare it to. Not necessarily player comparison, just the Super Bowl win and then underperformance. You shipped out. Sorry.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. It's a business at the end. I know you won a Super Bowl. Carson damn near won that Super Bowl. You got you there. Nick Foles won it. Whatever. That's still Carson.
There would be no Super Bowl if it was just Nick Foles.
Exactly. Carson did 13-3 or 13-1 or whatever he was before. I don't know how many wins you had before you, but damn near 13 by that point. I think he finished with 13.
Yeah.
But Carson won that Super Bowl. Damn it.
Yeah.
but also we're now 3 years removed from that. So.
Yeah, I mean, he had a good season last year. Definitely had a good ending to it. Not the playoff game, obviously, because he got concussed. Yeah. But he had a good, statistically good play, playing wise. He did really well last year. And I mean, this year, it's he had his own issues on top of the already glaring issues that the team had. I mean, I don't know, man. I think if Doug Peterson's here next year, I think we need to have an offensive coordinator. Doug Peterson cannot be making play calls if he's here next year.
Frank Reich,
and I know Doug Peterson. I don't think that's happening.
No, that's definitely not happening.
But Doug Peterson, apparently reports are saying that he wants more control of the team. He feels like he doesn't have a lot of control. Like he thinks that apparently reports are Howie is telling him who to play and who to start and who not to start. Like apparently he wants player control. Like Howie's the one, the puppet master. But nothing has reflected that he should have control because he's not doing shit.
And look what happened last time with Chip.
Yeah, exactly. They gave him too much control. So, I mean, at this point, if Doug's here, he needs some help. He needs an offensive coordinator. Otherwise, get him out of here. Bring the bull from Kansas City. What's his name?
Eric
Bieniemy.
Yeah, that dude. He apparently has been like on people's lists for years now, but he's just been chilling. So
yeah,
this might be the season.
Over. Mm-hmm. Or like bring fucking Dan Orlovsky as the QB coach or offensive coordinator, something like that, and then fire Howie and bring Louis Riddick or someone in as GM. Or something.
Louis Riddick, I think he was interviewing already in certain
Texans,
franchises.
I think, and Jacksonville. He's been doing some rounds of interviews.
Right.
But I mean,
that's not a bad either.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what he's holding out for some more interviews. You know?
Maybe. But other than that, it's like the same story that we keep talking about. It's going to be the same story through the offseason, the QB controversy. Other than that, it's just going to be
bolstering that O-line.
That's what they need to do, man. They need to do that either through the draft or free agency or something.
Right.
That O-line and the secondary needs to be priority. Like, you got Darius Slay on one corner. You need an actual decent corner on the other side.
See what happens.
Well, yeah, man. That's about all I have. Not much else new to talk about. After next week, like what you said, it's basketball season and hockey season going forward.
Ready to go. We'll be talking about a lot of basketball, a lot of hockey.
Definitely.
Obviously, still playoffs going on, but
playoffs.
That stuff
we'll be talking about playoffs
in full swing, you know.
Yeah, but we're probably not going to talk about what's Patriots or Eagles. We'll talk about just playoffs.
Our bias bubbles will be getting a little bit shorter, but we'll still do it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, there's only one thing.
One more thing. I've been waiting. I've been waiting.
The actual crazy sports stat fact of the podcast. I do have one this week. It's one that I'm pretty sure you already know, though. It's not something super crazy. It is pretty crazy for people that don't know the whole story. But speaking of comeback player of the year, has to do with him. At both Alex Smith and Joe Theismann broke their right tibia and fibula on November 18th in a game in Washington that ended 23-21. Like, that's crazy.
I remember hearing about that when it just happened. People made the connections already. Like, that is really eerie.
It's super
That's really... It's like as eerie as whenever the night Kobe passed and all that, and the basketball clocks were stopping and the scores were stopping at the It was weird. It was weird when weird stuff really like that happens.
Like they broke the exact same thing on the same date and with the same score in Washington.
A lot of coincidences.
Like, it is. It's like the whole what is it? Abraham Lincoln and Kennedy thing. Like the secretary, like that thing.
The just like being named this and that, and just just all the coincidences that connected to.
It's very eerie.
We can talk about that on Squad Pod tomorrow.
Yeah,
that might not be a bad topic.
That's true. A lot of those eerie. I'll have to do some research on some coincidences.
I will too. We'll bring that at them tomorrow. But
watch that episode whenever that comes out.
I'm pretty good as far as this episode goes. We covered a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of football mostly, but we did hit on the basketball there.
Yeah. I mean, we'll definitely be hitting more on basketball going forward.
As more happens.
There's only so much we can talk about playoffs, for football.
Right.
But yeah, man, make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. and check out Squad Pod on Fridays. Check out our show on Thursdays and Squad Nights on Monday nights. And
Tap that review.
Tap that reviews and check out the Journey with the Jays Network and all their shows that they have to offer. We hopefully have a lot of big things cooking up here in 2021 next year with the whole network. So
we'll be bringing this weekly regardless of what happens, but I'm hoping this just grows and grows and grows.
Exactly. But I mean, until then, to end on like a corny joke is like, we'll see you next year.
Oh my God. He actually. See ya.
See you next year.